I survived that, and then another major incident, same apartment, same place. So on Facebook, I had met up with a friend that I haven't seen since middle school, and I was about like 22 years old at this time. I got in contact with her, and we decided to hang out. And she's kind of like a hoodlum girl. She's kind of like a thuggish girl. She's a party girl for sure. And yeah, so I invited her to let's go hang out somewhere nearby at a park or something. We're just gonna drink and whatever. This might have been before the accident. I don't remember exactly the timeline before that or after that. I think it was after the accident. So after I had recovered and everything, yes. Because shortly after this incident, I moved out. So yeah, it was after the car accident. So sometime after the car accident, I met up with her. She came to pick me up, and she had her boyfriend with her, and also a cousin of hers, which was a guy. And yeah, we all, I was already drinking whenever she came to pick me up, and I was already buzzed whenever we went to the store. We got more drinks, and I had already brought some drinks with us that I had with me. So we went to the park, to some park nearby where I was living. So yeah, I was already pretty drunk whenever we got to the park, and it's not even 5 minutes away. It's like maybe 1-2 minutes away from where I was. So we went there, we hung out, just drank, played on the swings, whatever. And I don't remember very much because I was already pretty drunk. And from what I hear, I was already making out with this guy I didn't even know. And of course, he was touching me, rubbing his hands all over me, and I don't remember. I don't remember very much. But I know that after this major incident that happened, I guess there was an investigation, and neighbors had told the cops that, I was already all over this guy, and that I'm at fault or whatever. But anyways, this guy was already all over me, and we were making out and everything, and then I guess I don't remember. I don't remember much. I don't really remember ever leaving that place. I hardly remember even being at the park. And I guess she had heard that there was a party somewhere like in another city. I don't even remember where we went. I think we're maybe like an hour away from my house. She went to like a night party or some kind of party. And we were all going over there, and I guess I passed out in the car. I remember having cash on me. I had like $100 or something like that, and then I had some other items with me, like my ID card, social security card, and some other personal things. I don't remember everything that I had, but those are like the most important things, was my social security card and my ID, or my license. No, I didn't have a license at that time, just my ID. But I don't remember going to this place. I guess I passed out in the car. And you can probably guess what I'm gonna get at. So, I guess she was already kind of drunk too, pretty drunk. So her and her boyfriend went to check out the party, and I kind of remember off and on, just like little bits and pieces. Like, she wasn't even sure if she was at the right address, and I still remember her getting pissed off because she thought maybe like the person that gave her the address like sent her someplace else completely different, and that they were messing with her, like lying to her or whatever, giving her the wrong address. And she got out of the car to go check, knock on the door that of the address that they gave her. And her boyfriend went with her because she didn't want to go by herself. And I guess her cousin stood behind in the car just to keep an eye on me. And I'm guessing that he was a little drunk too. And yeah, I guess after she took off, she was gone for a little while, because I kind of remember bits and pieces of her like yelling at somebody, like she was like cussing at them, and like she was like going off on them because she was kind of pissed off because they didn't answer right away. And I was in and out of consciousness, but her cousin stood behind and ended up taking advantage of me, and I barely remember, but yeah, he had I guess her boyfriend went to go get him, or went to get both of us, or something like that. And not only did the cousin take advantage of me, I still remember him, like, and I was trying to tell him to stop, but he kind of like covered my mouth or whatever, and I just kind of like passed out again. And then he just kept taking advantage of me, and I still remember him like putting his hands down my pants, and I would like remove his hand. I didn't like it, and I kept telling him to stop, and he just didn't want to stop. And then I guess the boyfriend went over there, and he also did the same thing. And then I'm sure they were both drunk. I was in and out of consciousness, and I barely remember it. And I guess because of how wasted I was and how like unconscious I was and blacked out and everything, it just kind of doesn't feel like it was real, but it was. So and at this point, after the car accident, I kind of like I wasn't really involved with this guy that I was cheating on my boyfriend with, on my kid's dad. I had already started talking to somebody else, and he was kind of my boyfriend, kind of not, and he was whatever. So yeah, at this time I was with somebody, had a boyfriend already, and I wasn't really with my kid's dad. I even told him, like, even though he saw me as we were still together, I constantly told him, like, months before that, like, I don't want to be with him no more. I want to see someone else. I don't love you anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm tired of you abusing me. And I told him, like, I'm talking to someone else, and he just kind of like brushed it off, like, yeah, whatever. Like, at this point, he was also done with me because of all the drinking, and just like a vicious cycle. But so I remember that, and then I guess she went out to see she went to the car to see what was taking her boyfriend so long, and I'm still in and out of consciousness at this point, and I just remember her yelling at them, and my cousin, like, what are you guys doing to her? Like, get off of her and all that. And like, so she yelled at them, and they both stopped, and I think she was trying to get me to like stay in the car, or she was gonna take me home or something, but I was just so like I was hysterical at this point. Like, I was really emotional and crying because of what happened, and also because of how I was just like, I can't even explain it really. Like, I was crying, I was mad, I was sad, I was scared, like really scared. I was very scared, and I didn't know where we were. I just remember looking around. We were like in some kind of industrial looking area, and I don't know, it was like a weird looking neighborhood. So I don't know if this party was in some kind of apartment or what, or I don't know. But I was still in and out of consciousness, and at this point I was really fighting to try to stay awake. And I just remember grabbing my purse. Like, these guys were in the street, and she was yelling at them, like probably like several feet away from the car, and she was like yelling at them, like, what are you guys doing to her? Like, why are you guys like? She's like yelling at her cousin and smacking her boyfriend around because they were both taking advantage of me. And I was just like, I can hear them in the background. And yeah, I left my boots behind, and I put my pants back up, and I grabbed my purse, I grabbed my jacket, and I grabbed whatever I was able to really focus on that was mine. Like, I tried looking for my ID, my social security card, and whatever else I could find. I think I just grabbed, like, I think I might have grabbed my ID, but I can't remember exactly. I only grabbed like a few things. I think I grabbed my cell phone. Yeah, I think I grabbed my cell phone, and that was dead. My cell phone was dead. And I think that was it. And I don't even know what time it was. Maybe 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, something like that. And shoot, I just remember like leaving, and I don't know where I was. I don't know where I was going. All I know is that I wanted to get out of there, and I was crying, and I was scared. And I just remember hearing her shout, like calling me, telling me come back, and then I just wouldn't listen, and I was just like hysterically crying, and just hearing, like, I just kept running. I just started running. I don't know where I was going. And I tried looking for some homes, looking for apartments, houses, something, but it was a long time before I found anything. But I was barefoot, and it was really stormy that night. It was raining, and it was in the middle of the night. I had no idea where I was, no idea what time it was. My phone was dead. I was just in a hurry to leave because I was so scared. I was barefoot, walking in gravel, and I was looking all over the place, and I was still like really drunk, but I forced myself to stay awake. And I don't know how long it was that I was walking out in the middle of the night at nighttime by myself, barefoot in the rain. I don't even know how long I was running, but I was just running. Like, I wasn't even walking, I was running. And I don't know if she tried to go look for me or what. I just remember her constantly calling me to come back, and I just ignored them. I was just like not thinking straight, of course, because of how wasted and how gone I was. But I just kept going. I don't know where I was going, where I was. I just kept going. I just kept running. And I tried to look for whatever stores I could find that might have been open. There was a laundromat that was, I was checking different doors, knocking on people's house doors, ringing their doorbell. Nobody would answer. Nobody would help me. All I wanted was to charge my phone just so I can call my kid's dad or call my boyfriend at that time. And so I ran into this laundromat that happened to be open, and I was looking for a clock. I didn't see no clock anywhere, so I still didn't know what time it was. And I stood in there for a little while, just trying to like stay warm and just gather my thoughts and try to like, I don't know, process what just happened and process everything that's going on right now, because it just felt like I was in a bad dream. I was still really like drunk, like super drunk. Like, I don't know, something just kept me up. Something kept me awake. So alcohol led me to this, and which this situation also had. And if you know anything about the spirit of Jezebel, she usually comes up during times of molestation and rape and anything sexual abuse that happen to people. So I'm sure she was happy about that, excited about that, and trying to destroy me. But she's been in my life for a while before that too, because I mean that's not the first incidents that I've had of a sexual molestation. There was other times, which I probably should get into. It's not as major as this, but anyways. So yeah, I had no idea that a demon was part of this. So that's why I say in my last video, I know that Jezebel is something that I really want to get rid of in my life. Always trying to destroy me. And yeah, it caused me to do things that I feel terrible about doing. Ooh, yeah, she was with me since I was little, very little. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, so I eventually left this laundromat once I was like, okay, well, no one's gonna show up. No one's gonna show up here anytime soon. So I was just trying to get somewhere, get to some kind of help. And I was still really like super drunk, and so like I could have just been unconscious, but something just kept me awake. So I kept running, still barefoot, still rainy. My favorite leather jacket was just getting destroyed in the rain, but it kept me warm, kind of. Kept me from freezing to death at least. And eventually I made it to a 7-Eleven near a freeway, and I ran in there crying, and I kind of got kicked out because I guess they thought that I was some druggie or something, I don't know. But I asked them what time it was, and they told me the time, and I can't remember what time that was. But I asked them where was I? Like, I was like, where am I? Like, I don't know where I'm at. Like, someone brought me over here, and I don't know where the heck I'm at. But yeah, I was like pretty far. I was like an hour away from my house, and they wouldn't let me charge my phone. They wouldn't let me use anything. They wanted me to leave. They wanted me to get out, whatever. And there was a lot of people like that was stopping by the 7-Eleven because it was so close to the freeway, and I guess people traveling or whatever, or going to work at this time. Okay, at this point, it was like 3 or something like that. A lot of people that were going on the freeway would stop by the 7-Eleven, get some coffee or snacks or whatever they were doing. And I guess one person like finally took notice and asked if I was okay, because I was sitting outside just crying, just sitting on the floor crying and rocking myself. And he asked if I was okay, and I said no, I'm lost, I don't know where I'm at, and nobody will let me charge my phone. I can't get a hold of anyone because my phone is dead. And so he offered to help me, take me home. I told him where I lived, and so he drove me over there. He's like, how did you get over here this far? And I was still pretty gone, but I barely remember this guy. I just know he was kind of like either Indian or some Middle Eastern dude, I don't know. But he drove me over there, and he locked me in the car. He drove me like in front of my apartment, and he was saying, I mean, are you gonna give me anything for driving you all the way over here? And I'm just like, I was like so exhausted, and I was like, huh? I was like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? I don't have any money on me. And he wouldn't let me out the car. He kept me locked in there. And he's like, well, I mean, trying to hint to me like, I still wasn't thinking straight, but I'm just like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, let me just go inside and get some money for you. And he's like, no, I'm not letting you out of the car until you give me something. And I was like, what do you want? And he was just like, he asked me to touch my chest. He asked if he could touch my chest. And I was just like, of course, I was still gone, super exhausted and still very drunk and still just like in shock, I guess, in shock after just what just happened. And so he, I was just like, how much worse can it get? Like, how much worse can it get other than me getting murdered or something? But how much worse can it be? Like, whatever. So I was just like, okay. I was like, fine. I let him touch my chest, and I'm like, okay, can I go now? And he still wouldn't let me go. Like, he wanted more, and I'm just like, so he basically grabbed my hand and unzipped his pants. Okay, he unzipped his pants, and he, like, grabbed my hand and made me touch him. And at that point, I was just like, I kind of looked away, and I guess he didn't like that. He thought I was gonna, like, jerk him off or something. And he's like, you know what, just go ahead and go. And he unlocked the door, and I got out, and he drove off, and I didn't even look back. I just ran upstairs. I couldn't even get into the house because my kid's dad locked me out. He wouldn't let me in, and I was just banging on the door, and he wouldn't let me in. So I was outside until the sun came up, and I don't even know how long that was. I think the sun was just starting to come up whenever the guy let me out of the car. Like, I was starting to see a little bit of light, so it was probably maybe like 5:30 or 6 in the morning. I was outside for maybe a couple hours, and he let me inside only because he had to leave for work, and there was no one in the house to take care of the kids. So I got into the house, and then I took everything off, left all my clothes in the bathroom, and just all my stuff, whatever I had with me, I just threw it, left everything in the bathroom, all my wet clothes and everything. And he didn't even, like, bother asking if I was okay, what happened, or any of that. He didn't really, like, care very much. He went to work, and I guess, I don't know. I guess he got out of work early. He asked to get out of work early. He came back to check on the kids because he knew how gone I was, and I was trying to take care of the kids after all of that, after how exhausted I was, after just dealing with everything I dealt with that night. And he got out of work early, and then he started, being physical with me, and calling me names, and he just had this look in his eyes, like they were glossed over and they were black, and it looked like he was strung out on something or possessed or something. And it didn't matter what I told him, he just said he didn't care. So I called my dad. I didn't want to call my dad because of how my dad is. But I called my dad, and he came over, and he saw the look in his eyes. He saw the look. He saw the way he was acting. Like, he was just zeroed in on me and completely ignoring my dad. He just wanted to come after me. Like, so after what happened to me, and after, like, me not knowing really anything about the spirit of Jezebel at that time, and I'm sure that there was a lot of demonic activity going on. And yeah, I'm sure my kid's dad just really wanted to go after me, or whatever was in him wanted to really attack me. Probably, I'm guessing, because I was still being protected, and whatever was trying to get rid of me, destroy me as much as possible, couldn't do it. And it didn't like that I survived. It did not like that I survived at all. Probably saw that I was still being protected, so it used him to try to come after me. And my kid's dad saw that. No, my kid's dad. My dad saw my kid's dad and the way he looked, and he was even, like, freaked out. And he doesn't get freaked out. He was freaked out by the look in his eyes. Like, he saw, like, a glaze in his eyes. Like, he was not him. And yeah, it was like a demon or something. So yeah, that was one incident there that night. Another thing that alcohol led me to, another thing I went, there was another time hanging out with another friend that was like a best friend for my kid's dad. We went out partying a lot, like a lot. She was every single night going out, and I was going out with her. I did good because I wasn't like as bad as I was at this time, but there was one night where we went to go hang out with one of her friends, and one of her friend's friend had put his hand in my pants, and I told him no, and I ended up leaving because, well, of course, we were just talking. Like, I wasn't attracted to him or any of that, like flirting with him or nothing. I was just like, hey, are you okay? Like, you seem upset about something. And then I guess he took that as like a green light to go ahead and, oh, she likes me. No. And then after that happened, I was like, okay. I went back to their apartment because he wasn't in the apartment. He left and went to the laundry room to kind of, I forgot exactly why, but I was checking on him, and that's when he put his hands in my pants. And then I was like, no, screw you. And I went back to the apartment where we were all hanging out, and the guy that I was talking to also at this time, and he liked me, and he was not like that. I told him about it, and he confronted his friend, which is his roommate also. I told this guy, and I'm like, your friend just put his hands in my pants, and he wouldn't like take his hands off my pants when he was unzipping it, and even if I tried to yank his hand off and stop him, that pissed him off. So he went and confronted him, and they started arguing and fighting, and he ends up like calling the cops on him and telling the cops about what his roommate did to me. And he felt so bad. Like, he hugged me and held me for a little. He's like, I'm so sorry that he did that to you, and I never thought that he would do something like this. So yeah, that was one little incident, and like, I wasn't even drunk at this time either. Like, I think I probably had like one drink or something, and that's it. So yeah, that wasn't really like a big thing, like the rape thing. So yeah, I called my dad, and I told him about this. He came and he witnessed all the things that happened that morning. And I guess my kid's dad got back to the house before I called my dad, and he got to the house and started like throwing all of my stuff out of the bedroom, thrashing the whole place, and the kids were like in the room crying, and he just did not care. He never cared that the kids were seeing everything, no matter how bad it was. And I would always tell him, like, don't, like, if you're gonna be acting like this, don't do it in front of the kids. But when he would act a certain way, he wouldn't see anything else. He would not see anything else. He would just be like tunnel vision, just straight on me. Like, he doesn't see nothing else, he doesn't hear nothing else. He shuts everything else out. He just wants to go straight for me. And yeah, so at this time, I moved out of the apartment, and I took my kids with me, and I went to go stay. I went to go stay with my dad for a little while, I think. No, the kids stood behind, and I went to my dad's for a little while, and then went back to the house, and then yeah, I wasn't drinking, and at least for like a week, and then I started drinking again because he still was just not like So yeah, demons have tried to attack me my whole life, and I've survived a lot of things that should have taken my life, and depression was another thing. Depression and anxiety. I really wanted to take my life many times, but I didn't. But another way that I know that that God was with me was something that, like, way after all of this stuff, way after all of this, it was not too long ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. My dad being at, okay, so I'm now with my husband. I'm now with my husband at this time, and we enjoy drinking together. But my husband now, he's just nothing like like my kid's dad. He's very respectful of me. He treats me wonderfully. He's an ideal husband. He loves me to death, no matter what. And I don't deserve him. I'm now with my husband, and we have our home, our first home, and my dad is staying with us, and we enjoy drinking together. And my sister's living with us also, and so is my dad. And my sister went to fly somewhere to go visit her boyfriend, and she came, she was flying back, so my husband and I had to go drive to go pick her up. It was at night, and we picked up some drinks, just down the street from the airport where we had to go get her. And we probably had like one drink, but we didn't even drink until after we picked her up. And we had I probably had like 3 of them. He had only 1. So no effect on him. But that night we did get into a major accident, and my car was totaled. It was my car. My car was totaled, and the accident is because we were going uphill and somebody else going downhill, and it was a curve, so we're going this way around a hill, and then somebody else is going this way. And so whenever you're turning here, you can't really see each other until you're like right next to each other. And it was at night. And this guy coming down the hill, that curve, we were going up, this guy coming down was going really fast. And he hit us. My husband tried swerving out of the way, and this guy hit us on the passenger side. He was on the hit us on the passenger side. And I think I probably blacked out for like a second. But the car, we're on a hill, okay? And if the car flipped off the hill, we would have been done for. The car probably would have exploded. But instead, the car flipped like 3 or 4 times. It flipped, and we landed on the top of the car, so we were all upside down. And as soon as the car stopped, I took my seatbelt off, so did my husband. We both dropped, and we both came out of the car and helped the kids out, because we had 2 kids in the car and my sister. So we instantly got out of the car, and we took them out, and we just moved away from the car. And this guy in the truck, he had 2 other women with him and everything, but I think they were illegals. They were illegals. This guy never got charged. He got away with it. And yeah, but alcohol led to this, I'm sure, and just demons really trying to destroy me and eliminate me. But we got really lucky, because it's only 2 lanes, one going up, one going down, and we could have easily rolled off the hill, and the car would have exploded upon landing, however far that was. But no, we stood on the hill. The car rolled several times. we landed on the top of the car, so we were upside down, and that was it. We survived that. I survived it. I came out with like no injuries, like at all. Nothing. Not even a sore neck or anything. The only thing that I did have was bruises from the seatbelt, from the seatbelt getting tightened on me from the car accident, and then the airbag or whatever. That's it. I only had bruises around my hip area where the seatbelt was, and probably wherever, my legs. But that's it. I survived that, and we all did, luckily. But I had the least of it. I didn't. My sister, my nephews, they all have spinal injuries and neck injuries and head trauma. My husband was probably lucky too, because he also survived, had minor, didn't really have much injuries. The only injuries was his hand because of the steering wheel and stuff, and the impact. So I guess that's okay. There's also something else. Okay, maybe not something so major like these. Okay, like these, but in my husband and I's first home, I did drink a lot. Like I said, in my first video, we were doing good. We were trying to stop. We did stop for a little while, and we were fasting. Also, that's something I forgot to mention in my first video. We were both fasting. We actually fasted for almost a whole week, except I never understood why people fast and what the fasting was for, but I just knew I was fasting for God. That's all I knew. And I was also praying a lot, but I never understood why. I just knew I was fasting for God, and I was praying at this time. I didn't have a reason. I was just doing it for Him. So I wasn't like trying to hear Him or any of that. It's not like I was doing it intentionally for a reason. We were both fasting. I lasted longer than my husband did. He lasted 3 days. I lasted for like 4 or 5 days. So I fasted for that whole time. We stopped drinking that same day that we started fasting. I was praying a lot, and I was reading the Bible like every day. I had like a real peace on me. I really did. I had that peace that I was looking for. That's when my dad came into our lives shortly after that, and he was seeing how my spirit was growing and putting me down for it, mocking me and making fun of me, and then also making fun of me for not drinking anymore, because he always knew me as, someone that liked to drink. And if you want to know more about that story, that's in my first video, my introduction. So my dad really, his narcissism really just kind of destroyed my progress there, after all of that, after attempting to be sober and being put down all this time, turning down the alcohol, my dad insisting on me drinking, getting mad at me for not drinking it, and then blaming me for making him waste money on beer when I'm not even gonna drink it after I told him I didn't want it. On many occasions. Again, that narcissistic abuse, just like with my kid's dad, I got really tired of dealing with all of that stress, and at this point I was just really tired, exhausted, fed up. So I gave into drinking, and the drinking would get bad, but it was nothing like it used to be. I would just drink and then get hungover and deal with that for however long that takes. And then go a couple days without drinking and then drink again. But I think the only other thing that happened, the only other bad thing that happened to me during this whole time, this was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. It's just me. I drank so much that I might have had some alcohol poisoning. I'm not sure. But the next day, me being extremely hungover, I felt okay, but at the same time, it did not. I felt like some kind of demonic attack on me. And I was hyperventilating. I was like, felt really scared. I felt this heaviness on my chest and a panic. And I don't remember exactly all the symptoms that I had, but I just know I felt automatically better as soon as I told my husband to hand me the Bible, because the only thing that I remember that I could think of and that went through my head is that there's a demon that's trying to attack me right now, and I need the Bible. I need to have the Bible. I didn't know exactly what was wrong with me. I don't know. All I know is that the Bible. Just get the Bible. I told my husband to give it to me. I got the Bible. I rebuked whatever it was. I put the Bible over my chest and then over my head, and I put it over my chest, and then all I did was just rebuke whatever it was, and automatically it disappeared. Whatever that feeling was, whatever was going on with me, that feeling went away. You know, before I told my husband to give me the Bible, because of how I was feeling, I felt like I needed to go to the ER. Like, I had to go now. Like, get the keys, get this. I'm like, I have to go now. Like, I hate going to the ER. I hate the hospitals. I don't trust doctors. But I was just like, it was urgent. I have to go. And he was in a hurry to do all that right after I told him, give me the Bible. And I'm like, you know what, give me the Bible while he's getting ready to go to take me. So I told him, give me the Bible, and he was just like in a hurry to get his stuff together and get my stuff together and get himself ready. That's whenever I prayed over myself. I rebuked whatever it was, and it automatically disappeared. I was better. So when my husband was just like, okay, I'm ready. Are you ready to go? And I was like, I'm better. I don't feel like I have to go anymore. So there's that. So that is how I know that I'm protected, because at this point, I didn't feel that peace anymore. I was just drained. I was numb, spiritually numb. I was just internally, and I was just a wreck. I did not feel this peace anymore. I didn't feel God was with me anymore. But after this car accident, I wondered, like, how come, like, I should have been gone. And I was kind of, I guess, not really angry. I don't know. I was kind of upset at God for, no, not even upset at him for protecting me, but just upset because I'm numb, upset because I didn't understand why he protected me and why I'm still protected, and how come I survived this. Why did I survive it? Like, I should have been gone. I don't even know the word. Like, I wasn't mad, I wasn't angry, I wasn't disappointed, but I was just like, why? Like, there has to be a reason why you're protecting me so much. Like, what is my calling? Like, what is my purpose? Like, why am I even here? Like, I should have been gone, like, a long time ago. And I couldn't figure out why I've been protected and why I've survived so many different things. And I'm still as strong as I could be after dealing with all this trauma and drama and everything that I've dealt with. But I just know that I don't feel that peace anymore. And I really, really want it. You know, I miss having Jesus with me. I miss feeling his love. You know, I miss him. I miss having a relationship with him. And now I'm really, really trying to find it again, find myself, and find that peace. Okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna try to go sleep now, but if you made it this far, thank you so much. And I think what I'm gonna try to do, probably do daily updates on my sobriety, how I'm doing, and how I'm feeling that day as far as the alcohol goes. I guess I don't know what else. And if there's anything else, I will come up with it. Maybe I need to write these things down too, so that way I don't forget things, because I forget pretty quick. Symptoms also is also another thing you gotta talk about, symptoms, and how I knew that I was done with drinking, not only because of God, that was the main reason, but also other reasons, like health reasons and symptoms that I was dealing with. But yeah, just a lot of things coming up. Okay, well, thank you and good night, or bye.